Hey YouTubers, your buddy Platt, and today we're continuing on our wine series. Today we're going to talk about a wine that's hard to pronounce but easy to drink. We're going to talk about the Gewurztraminer. Gewurztraminer is a aromatic white wine grape that grows well in cool climates. It's a white wine grape, but skin color wise it's pinkish in color, but that doesn't affect the color of the wine. The name itself kind of gives us a little clue of what we're dealing with. The term Gewürz is German for spice. When I say spice, don't think jalapeno heat, think more of an aggressive bite on the palate. Traminer is reference to a town in northern Italy where it's believed the grape had its origins. And this grape has kind of an unusual origin. It's actually the viticulturists aren't sure 100%. Most believe this is an offshoot of the Sauvignon block, which is different than Sauvignon block that we talked about earlier. Some believe it might be a mutation of the Muscat grape. I've even read where some think at some point in time it might have crossed with Pinot grapes. Best way to describe it maybe is it's the mutt of the grape world. But it ends up making a delightful wine. And even today, there's variants of the Gewurztraminer grape. So depending on where it's grown, what have you, you can have some variation on the Gewurztraminer grape itself. Although it has a German-sounding name, this is actually a big player in the Alsace region in France. If you know anything about the history of that region, it's changed hands several times. For a while it was German, then it was French, and it was German and French, so it kind of makes sense. Gewurztraminer is actually the second most planted grape in the Alsace region of France. Besides Germany and France, though, this grape is grown in Australia, Canada, Luxembourg, the United States, anywhere in the cooler climates of those countries. The wine itself can be anywhere from an off-dry to sweet, even though it tends to lean a little more sweet, again because of the variance of where it's grown and the subcategory of the grape. You can get down to the drier end. As far as aromas, one of the most noticeable aromas is lychee. Generally has a fairly strong lychee aroma. Floral notes, roses, and passion fruit is also on the nose. As far as acidity-wise, this is going to be on the medium to low end. Enough acidity to provide balance, but not enough to where it really fires your saliva glands. If you have a real acidic wine, it really gets those saliva glands going. Temperature-wise, we're going to serve this at around 45 degrees. A little on the lower end. This is one if you threw in a bucket of ice or whatever, be just fine. The particular one. Oh, one quick note before I get to the wine introduction. Food pairing. Food pairing, you're going to want to pair this with fatty game and spicy exotic foods like your Middle Eastern and Asian cuisines. The particular one we're going to try today is the Be Lovely Gewurztraminer, produced in Walla Walla, Washington. Now, this bottle is an example of where the beer and wine worlds kind of diverge. If you go into your average liquor store, beer store, whatever, and buy either a regional brewed beer or your local brewed beer, most of the time on the bottle or can you'll notice not just the name and it's a Pilsner or a Bock or a Porter, but they'll also give you the ABV. A lot of times now they'll give you IBUs, SRMs, all that information, but they'll also tell you about the brewery. They usually reference a website, and then on that website you can find out all you want to know about the beer. Sometimes now they'll even give you what the grains, the hops they use. They generally let you know about the brewer. Plenty of information about how it's being made and who makes it and where there's at, and you can tour the brewery. This particular wine, part of the reason I picked it was as a staff recommendation. I went to a quality liquor store and they have an excellent wine selection. But this bottle, after I started looking and tried to do some research, is like a lot of bottles. It doesn't really go into, well, what vineyard? Well, who's the winemaker? What's the backstory? And part of the reason why that is most beers are produced, if it's Bob's beer, well, there's Bob making it, it's at Bob's brewery. The wine industry you'll have a big vineyard, and they might make a house style wine. Maybe it's Bob's wine. But a lot of time Bob has excess grapes or excess juice. And what Bob does a lot of times is either through himself or a third party, they will take that extra juice and make a wine for someone who wants to get in the business, or a private label, like if a restaurant wanted to have their own, or their grocery store chain, or what have you. And so you have a lot of people who have wine brands per se, that themselves aren't a winemaker. They don't make it, they don't bottle it, they don't age it. They just have someone else do it, and then they come in and put a label and do the marketing. But there's no whole story. Well, this would be lovely. I research. There's not a website behind it or anything. I've seen a few ratings as far as how it scores, what certain wine websites rated at, but I don't know the backstory. I don't know who the winemaker is. I don't have a picture of the vineyard. I don't see how the grapes are aged or anything like that. And that's the difference. You don't see that in the beer industry or spirits industry as much. That is possible if you wanted to have a third party, if you had money and you wanted to have someone make a beer for you, and then you slap a label on, that's possible. But it's not done as much in the beer industry as it does in the wine industry. So that's something you may see when buying wine, is that you see a nice label, it's a nice wine, you might even pull it up and see it gets a good score, but that's all you get. You really don't know the story compared to your local brewery that is proud to tell their story. That being said, we've got a bottle of wine, staff recommended. Let's give her a try. Alright. This is very light straw, fairly clear. Let's give her a nose. I get a little bit of the lychee, not real strong though. I get a smell of crispness on there, a little maybe light honey. Not a lot of floral, maybe a little passion fruit. Let's give her a taste. That's nice. This is a sweet Gewurztraminer. A little acidity, a little crisp acidiness, kind of nice. I do get the lychee also on the taste. If you ever had like a lychee martini or wherever, there's kind of a sweet crispness with a little almost sourness too. I'm not saying this is necessarily sour, but slightly puckering. The acidity there's enough acidity on the tongue that my saliva glands are working. As far as body-wise, decently light. This is fairly easy drinking. Finish, shortish, mediumish. Maybe on the finish, just doesn't last long on the tongue. Hits more of the front of the tongue, less the back of the tongue. Overall, nice little wine. I definitely drink it. I could definitely see where this would work with, a spicy Asian dish. I can definitely see that. Overall, decent wine. Well, I hope you liked this video. If you did, please subscribe down below. Any questions, comments, or concerns, leave them in the comment section, or you can contact me on the Twitter page. Till next time, bottoms up.